Hello my dear students, welcome back to chemistry class. Today, let us continue the lesson Chemical Effects of Electric Current. What we have learned in the previous class? We have learned how to make a tester based on magnetic effect of electric current and how to test the conductivity of liquids, whether they are good or poor conducting liquids. Then we have learned that it is better to classify materials as good conductors and poor conductors instead of classifying as conductors and insulators. Today we have to cover the topics conduction of electricity through distilled water, conduction of electricity through salt solution, and also what is meant by chemical effect of electric current. First one, conduction of electricity through distilled water. Let us perform an activity. Take about 2 teaspoonfuls of distilled water in a clean and dry plastic or rubber cap of a bottle. Use the tester to test whether distilled water conducts electricity or not. So we know how to make the tester, already we have learned based on magnetic effect of electric current. So how we can understand whether the distilled water conduct electricity or not? So here what do you find? Whether the magnetic needle deflects? There is no deflection of the magnetic field. What does it mean? Current is not passing through distilled water. So we can conclude that distilled water does not conduct electricity. Next we are going to learn conduction of electricity through salt solution. So now dissolve a pinch of common salt in distilled water. Again test. What we can observe here? Magnetic needle deflects. What does it mean? Current is passing through salt solution. So let us see our conclusion. When salt is dissolved in distilled water, we obtain salt solution. This is a conductor of electricity. Conduction of electricity through water obtained from different sources. We obtain water from different sources such as taps, hand pumps, wells and ponds. The water we obtain from these sources are not so pure. It may contain several salts dissolved in it. Small amount of mineral salts are naturally present in it. This water is thus a good conductor of electricity. On the other hand, distilled water is free of salts and is a poor conductor. We have seen that distilled water does not conduct electricity. What is the reason? There is no dissolved salts present in distilled water. The water we are obtaining from taps, borewells, wells and ponds and all these water bodies contain some mineral salts present in it. That's the reason they conduct electricity. Now here is a question for you. We should never handle electrical appliances with wet hands or while standing on a wet floor. Why? What is the reason? Small amount of mineral salts present naturally in water are beneficial for human health. So the mineral salts present in water is good for health. But these salts make water a good conductor. Because of the presence of this salt, water conduct electricity. So we should never handle electrical appliances with wet hands or while standing on a wet floor because water conduct electricity and we may get the shock. Now, most liquids that conduct electricity are solutions of acid, bases and salts. To understand this, let us perform an activity. Take 3 clean plastic or rubber caps of bottles. Pour about 2 teaspoonfuls of distilled water in each of them. Add a few drops of lemon juice or dilute hydrochloric acid to distilled water in one cap. Now, in the second cap containing distilled water, add a few drops of a base such as caustic soda or potassium iodide. Add a little sugar to the distilled water in the third cap and dissolve it. Test which solutions conduct electricity and which do not. So what we have taken here, we have taken three plastic or rubber caps. What we have taken in each of them, we have poured the distilled water. One of the bottle cap in which distilled water is taken, we have added a few drops of lemon juice or dilute hydrochloric acid. The second one, we added caustic soda, that is a base. So first one we added an acid, second one we added a base, third one we added little sugar. So let us see. When we added lemon juice to distilled water, the magnetic needle deflects. It means that lemon juice conduct electricity. When we added caustic soda, that is a basic substance, a base. Here also we can see the deflection of magnetic needle. That means caustic soda also conduct electricity. When we added sugar to the distilled water, we get the sugar solution. Here there is no deflection of the magnetic needle. What does it mean? Sugar solution does not conduct electricity. So, if you are adding potassium iodide also, magnetic needle shows deflection. So, that means potassium iodide is a salt. That means most of the liquids that conduct electricity are solutions of acid, bases and salts. Now let us see what is meant by chemical effect of electric current. So we have already seen three effects of electric current: heating effect, magnetic effect and chemical effect. We come across the heating effect and magnetic effect in the previous classes. Today let us see what is meant by chemical effect of electric current. So here is an activity. Take out carbon rods carefully from two discarded cells. So from the cells, discarded cells, we'll get two carbon rods. Clean their metal caps with sandpaper. We can see one metal cap that we have to clean with the sandpaper. Wrap copper wires around the metal caps of the carbon rods and join them to the battery. So here we have wrapped the copper wire around the metal cap and that is connected to the battery. So one carbon rod is connected to positive terminal of the battery and the other one is connected to negative terminal of the battery. We can call these are electrodes. These metal rods are electrodes. So this is a positive electrode which is connected to positive terminal of the battery and this is the negative electrode which is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So in the place of carbon rods we can also use iron nails. Now pour a cup full of water in a glass or plastic bowl. So in a glass or plastic bowl or a beaker, what we have taken? We have taken a cup full of water. Add a teaspoonful of salt or a few drops of lemon juice to water to make it more conducting. So you know pure water does not conduct electricity and mineral salts also present means it will be very less quantity. So to make it more conducting, we are adding a little lemon juice or salt. Now immerse the electrodes in this solution. Make sure that the metal caps of the carbon rods are outside the water. Wait for 3 to 4 minutes. So what we have taken? We have taken the metal rods from the discarded battery. We have cleaned the metal caps. We have wrapped the metal caps with copper wire. These copper wires are connected to positive and negative terminals of the battery. Now these metal rods are called electrodes. Then we have taken, in a cup we have taken water. To that a little lemon juice or salt is added and we immerse these metal rods in this water. Let us see what we can observe. Gas bubbles are formed near the electrodes. We can see the formation of gas bubbles near the electrodes. So in 1800, a British chemist, William Nicholson, had shown that if electrodes were immersed in water, a current was passed. Bubbles of oxygen and hydrogen were produced. Oxygen bubbles formed on the electrode connected to the positive terminal of the battery and the Oxygen bubbles were formed on the electrode connected to the positive terminal of the battery and the hydrogen bubbles formed on the other electrode. So here you can see when current is passing through this water, bubbles are formed. So why the air bubbles are formed here? Because of the formation of hydrogen and oxygen gas. Here the water is decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen gas is collected at the electrode where it is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. That means at the negative electrode. Oxygen gas is formed at the electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. That means at the positive electrode. So here, due to the passage of electricity, some chemical changes takes place. This is called chemical effect of electric current. So let us see the definition. The passage of an electric current through a conducting liquid causes chemical reactions. The resulting effects are called chemical effects of electric current. So here in the previous example, what chemical reaction took place? Water decomposed into hydrogen and oxygen. So gas bubbles are formed at the electrodes. There may be some other chemical effects also due to the chemical reaction caused by the passage of electric current through a conducting liquid. So one, as we have seen, it is bubbles of a gas may be formed on the electrodes. Other one, deposits of metals may be seen on electrodes. So some cases metal get deposited on the electrodes and change of color of solution may occur. In some other cases, solution color also may change. So these all depends upon the reaction would depend on what solution and electrodes are used. So based on which solution is taken and which electrodes are used, there may be different effects. Bubbles of gas may be formed on the electrodes, deposits of metal may be seen on electrodes, and changes of color of solution also may occur. So today we have learned the topics: conduction of electricity through distilled water, conduction of electricity through a salt solution, and chemical effect of electric current. Hope you understood today's class. Thank you, children.